Trump Derangement Syndrome, better known as the Orange Plague, has infected the Democratic Party from top to bottom. Today we're looking at 6 Democrats who didn't just lose to Trump, they lost to Trump Derangement Syndrome. Hillary Clinton's case of Trump Derangement Syndrome might be the most tragic. She thought she was destined for the White House. Instead, she spent 10 years showing America exactly why voters rejected her. Hillary was so consumed with defeating Trump that her campaign helped fuel the Russia collusion hoax during 2016.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president.
And after she lost, she doubled down on it to excuse her failures.
Ask yourself this. Within an hour or two of the Hollywood Access tape being made public, the Russian theft of John Podesta's emails hit WikiLeaks. What a coincidence.
And smearing people as Russian assets became a part of her playbook. First Trump, and then even Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein. If you crossed Hillary, suddenly you were working for Putin. In 2016, Hillary infamously smeared Trump supporters as
a basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Hillary, if you're watching, that's why you lost. Fast forward to 2019, and Hillary was on TV calling Trump an illegitimate president. She claimed,
he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did.
Talk about not accepting the will of the people. She's also called Trump a
clear and present danger to our future, to our democracy.
And in 2024, she went even further, comparing Trump's Madison Square Garden rally to a Nazi rally from 1939.
One other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. It may be a leap for some people, and a lot of others may think, I don't want to go there, I don't want to say that. But please, open your eyes to the danger that this man poses to our country, because I think it is clear and present for anybody paying attention.
Now this is the type of rhetoric that leads to political violence. Hillary's TDS turned her from a once presidential hopeful to a bitter old hack. Even to this day, she's still out there ranting about Trump and his supporters. But in the end, Hillary became exactly what she accused Trump of being, a threat to Americans' faith in elections by undermining the one she lost. This video is sponsored by Aura. These days, your personal information is floating around the internet more than ever. Hackers, scammers, and shady data brokers are trying to profit off your identity. Data brokers collect your private information, all without your knowledge, and then sell it off to the highest bidder. Legally, they have to remove your data if you ask them, but they make it very difficult to do. That's where Aura comes in. Aura is an all-in-one digital security solution that helps protect you and your family from identity theft, financial fraud, and online threats. They'll monitor your personal information across the dark web, alert you if your passwords or social security number are leaked, and even help you clean up your personal data from data broker sites. They also include extras like a password manager, antivirus, and a VPN, so you're protected across all your devices. And if the worst does happen, Aura provides up to $1 million in identity theft insurance to help cover eligible losses. So if you want to protect yourself and support the MAGAmark channel, go to aura.com/MAGAmark. There you'll find a free 14-day trial so you can experience what true security feels like. Protect yourself and your family today with Aura. Kamala Harris has always had a severe case of TDS, and it's only gotten worse over the years. Back in 2018, during a Senate hearing for Trump's ICE director nominee, she implied that ICE was like the KKK.
About the statement you made describing the Democratic Party as liberal-cratic or neo-Klanist, which was, I think the assumption there was that you were comparing it to the Ku Klux Klan. Why was it wrong?
Because those are offensive words.
Why are they offensive?
Because they have history in this country, and I honestly did not mean it that way.
But please talk about the history. What is the history that would then make those words wrong?
Well, the Klan was what we would call today a domestic terrorist group.
Why? Why would we call them domestic terrorist group?
Because they tried to use fear and force to change political environment.
And what was the motivation for the use of fear and force?
It was based on race and ethnicity.
Right. Are you aware of the perception of many about how the power and the discretion at ICE is being used to enforce the laws.
And in 2019, during her failed run for the 2020 Democratic nomination, Kamala even demanded that Twitter ban Trump, first over his tweets about a whistleblower and then again over his attacks on political opponents. Instead of beating him at the ballot box, she wanted him silenced. By 2024, when she finally weaseled her way to the Democratic nomination, Harris was still laser focused on Trump and only Trump. Instead of a positive vision for America, she spent the campaign ranting about how evil and dangerous Trump is. In a televised CNN town hall, Harris was asked,
"Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?"
She responded without hesitation.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
She doubled down, calling Trump
Unstable. He is unfit to serve.
Harris looked desperate and out of touch, more concerned with hating Trump than solving people's problems. In the 2024 general election debate, she kept scolding and smirking about Trump, trying to land zingers, but it came off as cringy. Voters weren't impressed, and President Trump ultimately trounced her in the election. Harris's TDS blinded her to what Americans actually cared about. She was so busy calling Trump a fascist that she forgot to say why anyone should vote for her. She went from being the historic first female black VP to just another Trump deranged politician who got humiliated at the ballot box. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, or as I like to call him and will refer to him for the rest of this video,
Tampon Tim.
got that nickname for mandating free tampons in boys' school bathrooms.
He signed a bill. He wants tampons in boys' bathrooms. I don't think so. Tampons.
But Tampon is just another fool with TDS who managed to discredit himself while trying to hurt Trump. Tampon wasn't content just to call Trump names, though he did plenty of that, saying Trump has
fascist policies
and accusing him of being a
racist.
In 2024, Tampon stepped onto the national stage as the Democrats' vice presidential nominee, and his Trump derangement syndrome went into overdrive. He constantly railed against Trump on the campaign trail, comparing Trump's policies to Nazism. Tampon's ticket lost the election, but that didn't cure his TDS. If anything, it got worse. After the loss, Tampon bizarrely turned his Trump-fueled hatred towards Trump's allies, especially Elon Musk, since at the time Musk was working with the Trump administration. At a People vs. Musk town hall in early 2025, Tampon actually cheered about Tesla losing value. He held up his iPhone on stage and said,
I know some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
So essentially, he gets his jollies watching Tesla's stock tank. But the joke quickly blew up in Walz's face.
As it turns out, Minnesota has more than 1.8 million shares of Tesla stock, which is owned and monitored by the Minnesota State Board of Investment.
So Walz was literally celebrating something that hurts his own state's retirees. And that was the cringe felt around the world. Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary blasted Walz for the foolish remark, saying,
"That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in his state. I mean, that's their investment fund. What a bozo."
Shortly after that ridiculous town hall, Elon Musk clapped back at Tampon during a sit-down on Fox News.
I mean, you had Tim Walz, who's a huge jerk, running around on stage with a Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do.
To top it off, Senator Ted Cruz lambasted Tampon as a small, petty, vindictive, evil bastard who represents today's Democrats well. Very true, Ted. Tampon had to sheepishly walk back his comments amid the ridicule. In the end, his deranged anti-Trump, anti-Musk antics made him a laughingstock. He let his hatred for Trump and friends override common sense, and he got burned for it. Barack Obama has one of the worst cases of Trump derangement syndrome, and it shows every time he opens his mouth. For a two-term president who promised hope and change, Obama sure spent a lot of time bitterly fixated on Donald Trump. It arguably started as early as 2011, when Obama publicly roasted Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, mocking Trump in front of the whole world.
But no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Trump sat in the audience fuming, and some say, including myself, that humiliation is what drove him to run for president. I have a video on the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Click that circle if you're interested. Another moment that displayed Obama's early symptoms of TDS was when he was on Jimmy Kimmel reading mean tweets, and he said this.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
That one didn't age quite so well.
Now fast forward to 2016, and Obama was still underestimating Trump. With Trump surging in the GOP primaries, President Obama smugly dismissed the idea of a Trump victory.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president. And the reason is because I have a lot of faith in the American people.
And while he had faith in the American people, they clearly lost faith in his party. Obama said the presidency
is a serious job. It's not hosting a talk show or a reality show. It's not promotion, not marketing. It's hard.
Basically calling Trump a joke candidate. Well, America proved Obama wrong. Trump won, and suddenly Obama's pride took a hit. Rather than respect the result, Obama's team reportedly worked behind the scenes to spy on Trump's campaign and feed the Russia collusion narrative, something unprecedented for an outgoing administration.
The implications of this are far-reaching and have to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. It has to do with an outgoing president taking action to manufacture intelligence, to undermine and usurp the will of the American people in that election, and launch what would be a years-long coup against the incoming President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Obama popped up in speeches and interviews throughout Trump's first term to warn that Trump was destroying democracy. In 2020, Obama hit the campaign trail for Biden, essentially shouting "Orange man bad" between every line of his speeches.
Trump cares about feeding his ego. Joe cares about keeping you safe and your family safe. Donald Trump likes to claim he built this economy. America created 1.5 million more jobs in the last 3 years of the Obama-Biden administration than in the first 3 years of the Trump-Pence administration.
And even after Trump left office, Obama continued his TDS-fueled commentary. In 2023 and 2024, Obama frequently painted a dark picture of America's future if Trump was reelected. He warned that we're dangerously close to losing our democracy. Obama went from inspiring Americans to basically calling half of them enemies of democracy because they backed Trump. This hysterical rhetoric only further divided the country. And here's the kicker: Obama's TDS arguably created the very thing he feared. By mocking and dismissing Trump and his voters, he fueled their resolve. Obama's inability to let go of his Trump obsession has tarnished his post-presidency image. Instead of rising above, he often sounds like a doom and gloom pundit. In the end, Trump Derangement Syndrome turned Barack Obama, once a symbol of optimism for some, into a Trump-obsessed doomsayer predicting the end of the republic. Freshman Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Texas came into office in 2023 as a rising star on the left, young, fiery, and not afraid to clap back. But early on, she caught a raging case of TDS that completely derailed her image. Crockett basically made hating Trump her brand, and it got uglier and uglier as time went on. She went viral in House hearings with over-the-top rants defending Joe Biden and attacking Trump.
I am so excited that my colleagues across the aisle care about sexual abuse, considering that the front runner right now for presidency is kind of just been found liable of sexual abuse. Every time we seemingly have a hearing on voting rights, we talking about the fact that people are cheating. So let's talk about who's cheating. I got a few articles. But when we start talking about things that look like evidence, they want to act like they blind. They don't know what this is. These are our national secrets. Looks like in the to me.
On social media and TV, Crockett called Trump everything from a criminal to a
wannabe Hitler.
In fact, after the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, Crockett doubled down on her extreme rhetoric. She literally defended calling Trump a wannabe Hitler, claiming,
me disagreeing with you, me calling you, a wannabe Hitler, all those things are not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally telling people at rallies, yeah, beat them up, and that kind of stuff, like you are promoting like a culture of violence. So we need to talk about like what it looks like when you don't promote a culture of violence.
She also showed her nastiness by mocking other Republicans. At an event in 2025, Crockett referred to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who is in a wheelchair, as Governor Hot Wheels.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So,
Absolutely vile. That slur drew instant backlash. Even Donald Trump weighed in on that one. He blasted Jasmine Crockett as a lowlife and a very low IQ person. Crockett's case of TDS is beyond recovery. At the 2024 DNC convention, she took the stage and spewed one of the most unhinged anti-Trump tirades ever.
One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it.
The liberal crowd cheered, but most Americans found it cringe. And in the end, she paid the orange price. After redistricting in Texas, Crockett's home was drawn outside of her district, leaving her either to run in a new district or face off against a fellow Democrat, but only time will tell what will happen with that. In just one term, Jasmine Crockett managed to overshadow AOC with her rhetoric, and that says a lot. Let this be a lesson. If your entire platform becomes "I hate Trump" and you start slinging mud at disabled people and fantasizing about Trump as him, you're only gonna ruin your own career. And God willing, Crockett might learn that the hard way. Finally, we come to Joe Biden, the former president of the United States and arguably the highest profile victim of Trump Derangement Syndrome. Joe Biden ran on a simple promise: I'm not Trump, vote for me and everything will go back to normal. It worked in 2020, allegedly, but Biden became utterly obsessed with Trump during his time in office. Rather than govern for all Americans, Biden spent 4 years taking constant shots at the MAGA crowd and trying to erase Trump's legacy at all costs. Biden's TDS was on full display from the get-go. In 2022, he gave a primetime speech in Philadelphia with a blood-red backdrop, Marines standing behind him, where he basically declared war on Trump supporters.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
He framed the country's situation as a battle of light versus dark, with Trump and his voters cast as the darkness, because that'll unite the country, right? He even labeled the MAGA philosophy as semi-fascism. Biden's presidency often seemed like it was more about undoing Trump's policies than advancing his own vision. Border security? Nah, Trump did that, so Biden reversed it, leading to a historic border crisis. Energy independence? Trump liked oil, so Biden went all in on green at all costs. On issue after issue, Biden's need to be the anti-Trump guy guided his decisions, often to the country's detriment. By 2024, Biden's TDS had completely backfired. He'd spent so much time vilifying Trump and MAGA Republicans that he actually energized them. Meanwhile, Biden's own leadership faltered, the economy struggled, war broke out across the world, and Biden often appeared tired and out of it. In the one-on-one 2024 debate with Donald Trump, Biden's worst fears came true on live TV. He looked old, confused, and weak on the world stage. At one point, he lost his train of thought so badly that he claimed he beat Medicare, whatever that meant.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicaid. He beat it to death.
His age and all that angry rhetoric caught up to him. After that fateful night, Biden's support cratered. He had run on being normal and steady, but his constant harping on Trump made him seem negative and obsessed, and the debate made him seem unable to do the job. In a historic move, Biden bowed out of the race, clearing the way for Kamala Harris to be the nominee. And as we saw, she flopped too. In the end, Trump Derangement Syndrome destroyed Joe Biden's presidency. The man who once called Trump the worst president in history ended up with abysmal approval ratings and a string of crises paving the way for Trump's return. In conclusion, all of these figures, Hillary, Kamala, Tampon, Obama, Crockett, Biden, thought they were hurting Donald Trump with their deranged behavior and rhetoric. In reality, they only hurt themselves. Part 3 of this series will focus on the media. Drop your suggestions in the comments. Thank you for watching.